Hello, and welcome back to Thomas Talks. I'm Thomas, and today you join me with the all-new Toyota Prius. I'm super excited to show you guys this car, and in this video I'm just going to give you a quick tour of what the car's like, just to give you kind of a vibe and first impressions of the vehicle. I will get a full review out on the Cars of Glasgow YouTube channel, but in the meantime, you may as well dive in and see, because this is new for the UK. It's been out in the States for just about a year or so, and yeah, I thought, why not jump on the opportunity to show you guys this car. This particular one is now beeping at me saying we're ready to exit, but then we've got things like cooled seats. There's loads of little Easter eggs or like hashtag compartments to it, components as well, and it's like, yeah, it's just a more stylish, quirky Prius that we know and love. Can you believe it or not, the Prius has been out for over 20 years. I remember the first generation that was very much like almost like a saloon, like a Corolla saloon or something from back in the day, before it got that kind of silhouette from the Mark II, which is like the hatchback style that we know and love and kind of synonymous with kind of like Ubers and taxis, especially if you're in London. However, this is a more stylish version than when it left off. And I love the front end, just like how sleek it looks, and even if the side profile it does kind of look like a coupe, because they've done the thing from the previous CHR of having the door handle up where the C-pillar is, so you just put your fingers on there. It's an electronic release and it pops open. There is a manual mechanical override in there as well. But yeah, there's the profile of it. In the rear, you've got the bar light. It says Prius in script on the rear. The Toyota badge is like almost flat into the boot lid itself. It's quite an unusual appearance to have like a stuck-on like silver badge that maybe I've seen previously in other Toyota products. Boot space is all right. It's quite squared off, and there's little kind of divots in each side just to kind of put more things in. Underneath the carpet, there isn't really anything. It's just like foamy stuff for your tires and that. But yeah, it's like a decent squared off size. You can get some suitcases and things in there. Rear leg room is pretty all right as well. You know, I can imagine this car being useful for families, or maybe if you're a taxi driver or something like that, you want something reliable and spacious. You know, the Prius has always had that kind of like large space in the back. Just kind of helps with that kind of silhouette again of the curved. Kind of reminds me of like doing what the Model 3's done as well, with the kind of like bubble at the back, just to give you a little bit more headroom. Okay, the Prius done that in like 2004, but yeah, this is kind of like a hybrid version of like a Model 3, I guess, in terms of the back room. And yeah, headroom, leg room's pretty alright. I'm 5'11", fit okay back there. Up front is where I'm seeing the changes, do you know, because you may remember, if you're coming from another Prius, the instrument display was in the middle. Now this kind of replicates what we see in cars like the Toyota BZ4X. So we've now got an instrument display in front of the driver that's set back a little bit, so it's almost acting like a heads-up display as well. So this depends where you have the steering wheel and that as well. You might be looking through it, or you might be looking above it. I've got in a position where I can see the dials and the gauges in front of me. It is fully digital, and then we do have this new Toyota digital infotainment screen in the middle, and it's the same software that we've seen in the CHR and other Toyota products. I won't go fully into it, but you just need to know it's fast, responsive, and it's Apple CarPlay and Android Auto equipped. We do have Prius underneath there just to remind you what you're driving. The big bit in here is we've got physical buttons for things. So we've got heated and cooled seats, we toggle buttons, similar to what we've seen in the CHR, the UX from Lexus, and my Lexus LC. We do have cooled seat buttons, which are physical buttons as well, you push in, which is really nice to see in a Toyota. And then down below that, we do have two charging ports, as well as a 12-volt power outlet that you can kind of pull this little clip it back, and then you can slide your voltage into there. There's a little tray underneath, and then you can lift this little latch, and it says hashtag hidden compartment under there, which is quite clever. Like, these little Easter eggs are kind of throughout the cabin. We do have two decent sized cup holders. We do have this little slut beside the gear select or gear shift. However, in America, I have seen that as a wireless charger, whereas here, I don't know if it's a UK only thing, but you use your cable, like your lightning cable, plug that in for your phone, and your phone can sit in there with the wire kind of running through. Gear select is similar to what we've seen on, you know, other products from Toyota and Lexus. I quite like this shifter. I'm used to it because I use it every day in my Lexus, but you basically put your foot in the brake, towards you and down for drive, or towards you and forward for reverse, independent button for park. We do have your little drive mode button there, which It's flat and you can toggle that up and down to cycle through various things. And then we've got your hold button, traction control, doing if you want to have it in auto, electric vehicle mode or hybrid vehicle mode, or like hold to charge, and electric electronic parking brake. Decent size centre console in the middle there, and a decent sized glove box. My overall impression of the interior of the car, we've got nice rubberized material throughout. The front of the passenger's kind of like a rubberized texture, kind of soft to touch. The driver's not got the same material. It's like a blend of like some scratchy plastics and like kind of like a texturized, gritty feeling plastic there. But you do need to remember this is not A, a Lexus, and B, it's not like a very expensive, luxurious car. It is, like around with the Corolla and things that are. This is just the plug-in, and it's a high-spec Prius. Speaking of high-spec Priuses, we do have things like your memory seats on the door here, all-round electric windows, auto-folding mirrors. You just leave that in the middle there, auto folds. On the steering wheel in front of me, we do have buttons for your cruise control. You can switch between your adaptive cruise control and your lane departure warning. And the left hand side, we can toggle things like voice commands as well as your phone and all that as well. So you've got that flexibility there of comparing for the two buttons. So overall, it's a pretty impressive car set. I will get the full review to you, but I just wanted to get this, kind of show you what the car's like. Thank you so much for watching Thomas Talks, and I'll see you next video. Ciao.